Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? I have actually started my day by removing a ton of dirt and also placing down a ton of dirt. This is GregTech, so whenever you want to set up some sort of an automation, you need a flat area. It's not like the modern mod packs where you just have a machine inside the building on top of a mountain. So I have flattened out this area, I'm expanding this area, we're going to go towards the mountain, and that's also the rest of my accomplishment for today's morning. And also I don't really have a builder's bond right now, so everything that I'm placing down, I'm just placing down manually. But life has not just been about dirt, I have also been cooking a ton of stainless steel. You're done? Ew, has problems. They do break down quite often. When you want to play this mod pack, you have to be actually great at math. I'm garbage at it. But yeah, we have a decent supply of stainless steel. I'm actually happy with that one. So, what is the plan for today? Good question. We actually have a plan which could span 2 episodes. One of them is that I need a mob farm, and probably I'm just going to make it over here. It's going to be a cursed earth mob farm because I need a ton of gunpowder. The second part of the plan is that we're going to move away from heavy fuel. So, over here, we're going to have a brand new setup. Also, I will try to terraform a bit. It's not going to look that garbage. And of course, our final plan is to get a ton of circuits, as well as a ton of material, in order to go to the moon. That's not really gonna happen today, but in a span of 2 episodes, we should be at the EV age. You're out of hydrogen, oh my goodness. I will continue flattening out the area, but before doing that, I think it's also a good time to start working on a few circuits. Cause you know, when I'm digging, it's basically like being AFK. We might as well try to use our time productively. I don't really know if I have been using my time productively or not, but I have been making a ton of chemicals, and gases obviously. We don't really have the means of automating most of these things, so I'm just trying to make a bunch. For example, that is ammonia. Smells amazing. And I have also been trying to make some methane. Normally, I'm the most efficient person at making methane. I just need a glass of milk. However, in this mod pack, we have soy milk. It doesn't have lactose. Sadly. The reason that I have been making all of these things is that we want to make some silicon rubber, because rubber is not infinite, silicon rubber is also not very infinite, but at least we can make a bunch, and the other one is that we can make polytetrafluoroethylene, also known as go to hell apparently, and I don't know who said that. It's such an easy thing to read. And yes, I have gone through like millions of cells. I think I made like 10 stacks. I need all of these things in order to coat wires, I need them in order to make the large chemical reactor, and I also need them in order to make circuits. I think. I also need some polyvinyl chloride? I think PVC? Okay, maybe not that one, that requires ethylene. Well, I guess we can make a bunch. That's actually something that we can do because we have tons of oxygen. They're byproducts of like so many items. The problem is that I'm actually... oh, that's ethylene. Yes, as I was saying, the main problem that I have at this very moment is that I'm incredibly short on hydrogen. So I'm processing different ores, I'm centrifuging different ores in hope of getting extra hydrogen. We will fix all of that later on, don't you worry. We just need to get the distillation towers up and running, after that we should be fine. Are we sure soy milk doesn't have lactose? Yeah, it doesn't. Well, first let us try to get some of our cells back. So, we're going to start with PVC. That is ethylene, that is chlorine. That should be vinyl chloride? Yeah. No, that's not vinyl chloride. That's hydrochloric acid. That is vinyl chloride. I need more cells. Yay! We got a quest. The PVC that I have just made, I made it into the bar. Because, you know, using a bending machine, it's way easier. We can convert it to anything that we want, and we can even macerate it into the pulp. Anyways, the PVC that I have just made, which should also be a quest, awesome, is gonna give us a better yield on the plastic circuit board that we need for this age. So with polyethylene you get 1, with PVC you get 2, with go to hell you get 4. But go to hell is kind of important, we don't want to waste it. I don't really know how long it has been, but I don't even think I slept. Yeah, it's been a while since I rested. And I feel exhausted. Okay. But in general, I was really hoping that I'm going to set up a few things, then go on my dirt collecting mission. And it didn't really go that amazing. I was just standing here, literally. So we have molten polytetrafluoroethylene. And yeah, it's really hell. We're making silicon rubber. And I have also made a bunch of plastic circuit boards. The problem is that I'm out of iron 3. I purchased it 2 times, but I think very soon that part of the quest is going to be done, and I'm really gonna be happy about it. Besides, with Go to Hell, we can have the advanced chemical reactor. Not the advanced, the large chemical reactor, yeah. It does require PTFE fluid pipe, and then there was this chemically inert machine casing. Well, it's good to know that we have it. That's all I can say. Also, silicon rubber is not that amazing. I just wanted to mention that you don't get that much. So I guess we're just going to use it as some sort of a substitute until we can fix our rubber problems. But I guess until a very long time, I'm not gonna have any problems with chemicals. We even have nitric acid, we have hydrofluoric acid, we have hydrochloric acid, and obviously, well, I don't really know what that was, but we also have a ton of sulfuric acid. We're rich on acids. But at least with everything that I have done, this section of the quest line is almost cleared up. This is another type of synthetic rubber. We're not gonna make this, we don't have oil processing. But this one for platinum I can actually do. Why not? Everything is optional, right? I have been preparing for that. Why? What? What does it mean skip? Anyways, I don't really understand the quest line, but I need to make circuits, so see you in a while. Actually, one of the most important things that I have done is that I have processed some tantalum. And I have also made some vibrant alloy. Where is it? Yes. We might as well run the blast furnaces. That's hydrogen, oh my goodness. I don't have that much hydrogen. And just in case you're wondering, that is from amber. I thought I have been processing tantalum. Apparently I have not. Did I put the wrong chemical in? Okay, I have processed some. Yeah, tantalum. That was nitrogen, I ran out. Sorry about the boo-boo, but that is our entire supply of tantalum. I have also converted some of that into wires, and I have converted those wires into SMD resistors. And I have also made some diodes. And yes, the blast furnaces are running again, making us vibrant alloy, and again, hot tantalum. Well, it's vibrant alloy and energetic alloy, that's it. Another thing is that we are a bit short on a few resources, so here's what we're going to do. Let's take some heavy fuel. For making Teflon, I was really short on fluorine, so what I did is that I brought our miners here. There's actually two of them. There were two rock salt veins here. Because one of the ores does actually provide you with a ton of fluorine. It's a bit of a parkour, but yeah. We have another miner here. But yeah, the main reason that we are here is that I'm also extremely short on gold. Also, let's cover the holes. They're dangerous. So I know that there are two magnetite veins over there that should provide us with decent gold. Also, we cover it, as usual. There are small gold ores here. I have already mined this one. That's not great. But yeah, as I was saying, there are small gold ores, and there's also raw gold ore down there. And it's also chunk loaded, so why the hell not? Oh, I already got some raw gold. Nice. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. More gold. It doesn't have to be chunk loaded, it's under our base. Yeah, that should be the other one, and this one is untouched. While the miners are mining some gold, we can focus on the circuits, and we do have a small issue. Do you guess what it is? The inventory panel is full. So we need to empty that, and yeah, thankfully circuits are a bit resource intensive. Also, I'm now very happy that I spent some time on making some PVC, because look, that is going to be 48 SMD capacitors. You do need tantalum for... Oops. I right-clicked. I'm sorry. That actually looks nice. Anyways, that's a ton of SMD capacitors. Tantalum was useful. We should get more. I think you find it with manganese. I always have to check. Efficiency on the clean room is 100%, so that's great. No idea what I was crafting. But whatever we were crafting is not very important. We're gonna make way more circuits. Oh, soldering alloy. Oops. Oh, I do have some. Nice. It's so nice to be able to empty your system. Makes me happy. But yeah, that's going to be my job for the next 2-3 hours, I suppose. It actually has not been that long, because we have two assemblers. You know, circuit assemblers. So we have, how many is that? 7.5 stacks of circuits? That's great. We're missing a few stuff. So even though that's great and I have almost emptied my inventory, we're going to do that more. I made a boo-boo. So I made a ton of these plastic circuit boards in order to make the MV circuits, and then I forgot that you also need them for the high voltage ones, and you also need them in order to make the workstation. So yeah, we have a ton of circuits, but we can't upgrade them yet. I will make more circuit boards, that's not a big deal. However, since I'm actually really trying to empty my inventory, here's what we're going to do. We're also going to make some stainless steel casings. Yes, they're called clean stainless steel machine casing. We need that for the distillation towers. And yes, we're going to go with a lot of tanks. This is the part of GregTech that I enjoy the most. Oops, that's the wrong one. You know, making bajillion items and get confused. That's a lot of tanks. We need way more. Because here's the thing, we're going to have a tree farm that's going to give us wood. That wood goes inside a Pyrolyze oven and we're going to get charcoal byproducts. That charcoal byproducts is going to need a 6 tall distillation tower. And well, we don't have to do everything in one day, but basically we want the wood tar. That's also going to be 7 tall. And that's our fuel over there. The one that we want. This is why we need a lot of tanks, a lot of stainless steel, as well as circuits, because just in case you're wondering, I have to change every single generator that we have. These are semi-fluid generators, we need gas turbines. We also have some frame boxes, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the next day for me and I have been busy a lot. So first off, remember that we need to make a few distillation towers. All of them are going to require an energy hatch, so I have made 16. Secondly, I have made way more PVC because it's actually quite useful. And I have a very weird problem. So for fixing my cells, I decided to make super tanks, right? They're cheap, easy, nice, handy. And well, I made 4 because I ran out of circuits for the LVH. So yeah, we actually have to move to Super Tank Mark II, but that requires PVC item pipes. We need PVC anyways, so why not? Another thing is that I have already started making more circuits. We had 1 stack of HV1s, which I'm converting into EV. So we will have half a stack of workstations and maybe a stack of processor assembly, or maybe 2. Depends on my resources. And I think the final thing that I did is that I made the Pyrolyze oven. These are all the blocks that we need. Oh, and by the way, something funny happened. So I made some nitric acid, for I don't know why. It was a quest, I wanted loot bags. So I started processing some things inside the centrifuge, and guess what I got? Rutile. Well, I got the 1. Well, it does come from an ore, which you're supposed to find it in the overworld, but I just had like 20 something of them, so I just got the 1. And I can't find it anywhere. And yes, we are making more go to hell. Because why not? It doesn't really have a color, yeah, that's the one. But basically that was just a small update as usual. See you in a bit. Hello! It's been a while and I have made some progress. Not a humongous amount of progress, but some. So placing down dirt actually takes the longest. I have prepared 2 diamond ones, which I'm going to use them right now. But that is our Pyrolyze oven, and yes, it actually has produced us charcoal because I had a ton of wood. I just put them in manually. And at this very moment, we have 2 of the distillation towers because I'm really short on fuel and I really wanted to start producing it. Depending on the language that you have learned chemistry, this is either bunzen or benzene, or whatever, but it's going to give you the exact same energy as heavy fuel. The only difference is, this is infinite if you have a tree farm. So I have already prepared 2 farming stations from Ender.io and we're going to use those. And we're going to set it up over there. You know, the flat area that I have made. I just checked, I have placed down 13,000 pieces of dirt. You know, you can actually see my artwork on the map. So here's the deal, my chemistry teacher was French, so I'm gonna call it benzene. But we are talking about the same thing. So anyways, this guy has the same value as heavy fuel, but it can be upgraded. And that gives you 1.6 million EU. We are going to do that really soon because the only thing that it needs is sulfuric acid and nitric acid and some water. And you know me, I like acids. We're gonna automate all of them anyways. However, the recipe is insane voltage, so it could take a while. And besides, that's going to be fully automatic compared to heavy fuel. Let's talk about the farming stations. So, the problem with having this kind of a setup is that you cannot use the same fuel source that you're producing in order to operate everything. It's kind of stupid. Imagine if you run out of fuel for any reason, your entire base is gonna stall. So for the farming stations, I'm actually going to use an alternative source of power. And that is going to be the Sterling generator from Ender.io. And that's why I actually had to make some LV circuits. And fun part of everything is, it's actually easier to make octatic capacitors than basic capacitors. Thank you, thank you. Let's see how much power this guy generates. I think coal and charcoal have the same value, so it doesn't really matter. We use coal. 60 RF. I have 12, that's 720. And it lasts for 1 minute or so. Maybe 50 seconds? The thing is, the Pyrolyze oven is going to produce us with a ton of charcoal at insane rates. And since I don't really have any use for that, we might as well use it in order to power the farming stations. Although first things first, I need to flatten out the area. I made 2 wands. Yeah, don't really know if you can enchant them. Nope. And it's not even a quest because I did not make the previous tier one. I think it takes around half an hour just to make one of them. So let's see if it's worth it. Even if it's not, it's better than what I'm doing. It's actually not that bad. I should have made this long ago. Well, actually, it's not very important because I wanted to go with the one from extra utilities. This is why I never bothered with making one. After this, we literally have to start on working on getting some unstable ingots, because I think if you put a tool inside the farming station, it's gonna break. And if I remember things correctly, it's not even going to gain any experience. Also, I'm not sure, should we go with oak, should we go with spruce? These decisions are hard. So, for transferring the power, I like things to be neat and clean, so we're going to use conduit. We don't have a crazy amount, we only have 48, but it should be enough for at least one farming station, even two. So you have power. No. Why? Yes, I think that was a bug. You have to break them and replace them for some reason. Then it will work. You just have to update them. But yeah, we're getting trees. No seeds. Yes, I'm aware of that. For the moment, you can have my hammer. Not hammer, axe. For transferring the charcoal, we're going to use PVC item pipes. They can handle 8 stacks every second, and they're quite cheap. I just ran out. I thought maybe I should use conveyors, but they only transfer 1 stack every second, so it's worse. But we should have more PVC. It's not much, but it will do. Maybe we use the big pipe for the farm itself and use smaller pipes just for charcoal? Is it the correct one? Yeah, 4 stacks per second is fine. For the farm, we use the large one. Okay. Makes sense. Also, it's a bit cheaper. I have set up both farms and it seems that we're keeping up with the power. Why do I say that? Well, this drawer is full, this drawer is full, and all of the generators are full. Although the bigger the tree is, the more power it's going to consume, so I'm not really sure. Maybe we're going to need a few more generators. But that's not a big deal because they're incredibly cheap, and also we're getting charcoal at a faster rate that we're consuming it. You see? However, I realized that my statement previously was wrong. I do need the charcoal, and I'm really happy that we are getting some in excess. Because if we put charcoal inside another Pyrolyze oven, we get coal tar. And that's kind of important because I need the kerosene in order to go to the moon. You know, it gives you rocket fuel. Although I just want the kerosene. It's GregTech New Horizons, we need everything. I take it back. I make a new Pyrolyze oven. They're actually quite cheap because we do have the bronze blocks. You know, from our previous multi-blocks. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while later, and unfortunately you might notice that my progress is almost 0. Excluding the extra Pyrolyze oven. And well, there's one reason for that. We're not getting enough fuel. I mean, you can look at the time and this excess fuel is just garbage. True, there's a lot of fuel in the pipes, but still. This is really bad. And then I realized why is it so bad. Because I have played this mod pack twice and I never ran into this issue. Do you know why I have this problem? Basically, the only thing that I am interested in at this very moment is Bunsen, correct? This guy over here. So normally what I used to do was that I had a Pyrolyze oven. Instead of making me charcoal byproducts, it was giving me wood tar, and that wood tar went into a distillation tar to get Bunsen. But every time that I did that, I got tons of comments that, Lash, you're stupid. Go with charcoal byproducts. So today I realized that they were wrong. Charcoal byproduct to wood tar is a 25% ratio. Wood tar to Bunsen is a 40% ratio. So this system has 10% efficiency on fuel. My system was quite straight. It was 40% efficient. So instead of having this mediocre amount of fuel, we should have had like 1.5 million millibuckets. It's okay, I'm going to fix everything, I'm going to remodel everything, but first things first, let us upgrade our divination sigil. What's in here? Oh, villager. Hi. It's nice, they drop coins. So we are going to need a sacrifice, which is going to be a cow, and we're going to fly to a place where it's not chunk loaded. Hello, creeper. There's so many crazy mobs. I think the perimeter has almost been secured. So as you guys probably know, this is the ritual from extra utilities. We need to have an enchantment table, we need to surround it with redstone, we need to have our divination sigil, and if we right click it will tell us that everything is fine, we just have to wait for midnight. Also, this is literally out of the render distance of our base. Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna be chunk loaded, is the thing. And we don't really have to look at the moon that much. Yeah, the sigil will glow. So the sacrifice, and bye-bye, I'm out. As a quest reward, I did get a silky jewel. Oh yeah, that is a quest reward. For quick and dirty portal generator. So I have it, I just don't know where it is. Now that we have the active divination sigil, we can make the unstable ingot. There are two ways of crafting it. One of them is this one, which you have to do that inside a vanilla crafting table, but you do have only 10 seconds before this explodes and kills you. Which, to be very honest with you, I'm not actually keen on doing that because I always fail anyways. So we're going to go with the cowardly method of getting nuggets. It's way more expensive, but it's safe. It's expensive because of diamonds, and we don't really care. Well, you can do this in a crafting table. I thought you need a compressor, so that's unstable ingots, which are stable. Long story short, it doesn't kill you. Thankfully, I already have the obsidian rod, so that should be my healing axe. Nah? Maybe it's this obsidian rod? That's the one. So that's the healing axe. It gives us saturation over time. And also, what I want to know is that if you put it inside the farming station, will it work? Yeah, it does go in. So if that's the case, let us get 2 more. Alright guys, I have done some remodeling, and that is the result. And that is actually what I was looking for. Fuel. So this is how the system actually works. We're getting wood tar, and we have 2 distillation towers which are sharing a wall. They both produce the same things. And then we have 2 Pyrolyze ovens. We already had them. I just reconfigured them so that they only make wood tar. Also, when I made the changes, everything was working fine because we had a backlog of wood. However, oak is not the most efficient one because, well, you get more leaves than wood. So I have changed everything to spruce. So even though we are having less farmland, it's actually way more efficient. And yeah, the lanterns are here because the farm doesn't work during the night. It's too dark, the saplings are not going to grow. Another thing is that I have been thinking, I need a lot of fuel, I want to switch to high voltage machines. So should I have 2 more Pyrolyze ovens? Because Nitro Bunsen is a bit far away. What should I do? The thing is, at this very moment, the Pyrolyze ovens do have nitrogen because I had like 4 million millibuckets of nitrogen. But eventually I'm going to run out and I have to start working on getting more nitrogen. That's extra machines. Also, even though the Pyrolyze ovens are working constantly, these guys are not. You do notice, they do fluctuate a lot. Yeah. A lot. Another change that I have done is that instead of going with high voltage energy hatches, I'm going with medium voltage. And I really want to use this method of generating fuel because you see the turbines are actually way cheaper. Anyways, what I wanted to mention was that high voltage gas turbines have an efficiency of 85%, while the medium voltage has an efficiency of 90%. So it's more fuel efficient, I think. I mean, that could be the reason that we're gaining fuel. So I don't know, if I want more fuel, I do need more Pyrolyze ovens and I do need to process nitrogen. The problem is that while I was working on oil, we ran out of almost everything. I don't even have enough bronze left. Well, I have been cooking some, yeah, okay, we do have. Okay, I was prepared. Bronze is fine, but I'm literally missing the rest of the material. You know, in this mod pack, it does take a stupendous amount of time just to be able to make 1 multi-block. Maybe we should limit ourselves to 1 multi-block per episode. But yeah, we're going to have 2 more Pyrolyze ovens. I have the rest of the garbage, I think. I think it's fairly obvious that I'm not carrying everything with me. Oh, actually, I forgot the most important thing. We are using nichrome coils. That gives us an efficiency of 150%, which is amazing. And yeah, we're out of nitrogen, so the rates are garbage. Where are my coils? I have 17. Why? The thing is, I need 18. Okay, we have extra. So I thought to myself, fuel is the most important thing and I don't want to struggle with it ever again. So what we're going to do is that we're going to double our Pyrolyze ovens. We're going to try and provide them with nitrogen as best as we can. And that should mean that we're going to get fuel at an insane rate. I just wanted to explain something funny. So, I placed down the Pyrolyze ovens. I did notice that they're off by 1 block. And I just wanted to mention that's like 140 blocks that you have to break with a wrench. And then when I was almost done, it's a blood moon. So you can't really sleep. But it's okay, I also need to think of nitrogen, so I need some centrifuges. So the reason that I need nitrogen is that, for example, whatever you want to do with your Pyrolyze oven is going to take a certain amount of energy and it's going to take half a minute. Of course, better coils means that it's going to be done in less time, but let's ignore that. If you add nitrogen, then the fuel consumption is going to drop by 25%. Also, it's going to be done in half the time. And that's very important, because faster processing means that we're going to get way more fuel. For example, right now it takes 10.7 seconds in order to get a bit of wood tar. If I give it nitrogen, it's going to be 5 point something. Yeah, 5.3 seconds. Let's change it back. it's not infinite yet. So generally speaking, adding nitrogen to Pyrolyze ovens is a good idea. However, GregTech is a bit different than other mod packs, meaning that there's no closed loop cycle generator or anything, meaning that you have to work for every millibucket of fuel that you have. So this is our fuel situation. It's rising decently fast. It's actually rising way faster, however we're using some of that fuel in order to power our fuel generation setup. You know, 4 Pyrolyze ovens and 2 distillation towers. We know how much power each cell of Bunsen is going to produce, and we know how much each operation is going to cost. So I have done some calculations and let's talk about it. It's actually a bit too late because I have already made a vacuum freezer. Well, I just wanted to mention just a block. So how do we get nitrogen? Normally you get compressed air cells, you put it inside some sort of a centrifuge and voila, you get nitrogen. However, there is a far better way. You put it inside a vacuum freezer. This is EV, so timing is different. But every 1.4 seconds we get this liquid air, and this is the EU cost of it, which is not that much. It's 0.3% of one Bunsen cell. So once we get 53 of these guys, what we can do is that we can put it inside a centrifuge. I have already done this several times. This is the high pressure version. We can even use the bronze version, but after 1 minute, see what happens. It's almost a minute. Let's check. Voila. We get 40 liters of nitrogen, we get oxygen, we get argon, and we get noble gases. Noble gases are later on going to give us helium as well. So I have done some calculation, and it does seem that one steam separator, which can be bronze, can handle one vacuum freezer working at high voltage, which means every 0.53 seconds we're going to get one nitrogen cell, which is great. It's not as great as you would think because it's not enough in order to power 4 Pyrolyze ovens with nichrome coils, but it can power 3 of them. What is that? Hello? What, you jerk? So I don't know, if I downgrade one of the Pyrolyze ovens, go with the setup that I just explained, we should be fine. And overall we should be able to save on a bit more fuel and generate more. It's just that there's a huge backlog and I need to make a vacuum freezer. And if you're wondering why am I carrying 48 chests, I'm also wondering the same. Oh, I was making chests. I do understand that I'm not really great at explaining stuff, but whatever I just mentioned, that's it. I just assembled everything. So we have 6 advanced compressors, they're medium voltage and they don't consume that much power, so we only have 1 turbine. I think you can hook up like 16 of them to a turbine if there was no losses in the cable, but 6 is more than enough for us. What they're doing is that they take the cells, they make compressed air cells that goes inside the vacuum freezer. The vacuum freezer is giving us liquid air that goes inside a centrifuge which is made out of steel, and in return we're getting nitrogen, we're getting oxygen, argon, methane, CO2, helium, and deuterium. There's another centrifuge over here which processes the noble gases and puts them inside these super tanks. However, the nitrogen that I'm producing can handle 2 Pyrolyze ovens and that's it. So I don't know, later on we might change that, but I do like this setup. Because you do get some bonuses, it's not that bad. However, next episode we're going to go to the moon and we're going to go to the EV age. However, in order to go to the moon, we need to make rockets. Rockets require compressed plates, and compressed plates have to be compressed using some sort of an explosive. So the distillation towers that we have are, giving us a ton of fuel, but they're also giving us toluene. That's what we can use for explosives, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. And it's also going to be incredibly slow. There is also a recipe for making gunpowder inside a mixer, if I find it. But to be honest with you, that's also slow and slightly garbage. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have a mob farm, and I have already started working on a structure. But we do need to test out a few things, just in case. So this is a block of redstone. This is a fan from open blocks. I have been hoping it's gonna be faster. I just wanted to know the range. The range is good. Seems to be like 8 blocks. Also, I didn't have enough mortar, so I just made 4, but it does seem that it has a range. Even if you stand here, it pushes you. So if you have 2 of them, is it going to be faster? Oh, good to know. Also, the way that we're going to kill the mobs is going to be with diamond spikes. I think these can be enchanted. So the mob farm is 9 blocks wide. We need 5 iterations of the recipe. I don't want to mess it up. It takes ages to cut diamonds. So we have 9 fans, and then we're going to have the spikes. Does it kill you if you don't walk on it? Okay. We know. What if you place it like that? Okay, Still kills you. I'm mainly worried about spiders. That should be perfect. And now here's the problem. I wanted to go with a vacuum chest from Ender.io in order to collect the items, but we're going to go with vacuum hoppers, because the vacuum chest is just a pain to make. The downside is these guys have a very garbage range. I think it's just like 3 blocks. Yeah. So this is why we have 3 of them. I just wanted to mention that. Also, they don't really collect stuff if we put it just under the spike, I suppose. Maybe it does. And no, it doesn't. So what if we put them up there? I think 2 was more than enough. Yeah, they seem to be fine. Okay, we're good to go. Also, there was a sinister note here. I broke it. And by the way, that is our blocks of redstone. So the fans should be operational. Yeah, they even push you here. Okay. Good to know. We just have to make sure that we don't go in. I have made some item conduits, fluid conduits, and these are the facades, because we're also going to have an XP obelisk. And I have set up the drawers, obviously. So light should not go in, and I'm really hoping a facade is going to do the job. If not, we have to add more. Well, I can add more. Oops. Not there. And well, the fluid conduit can go inside the obelisk. I had to make everything because these are garbage conduits, then you need a wrench in order to fix the fluid, etc. So I was like, let's finish everything. But this works. So for sorting the items at this very moment, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to have a diamond chest, you know, at a higher priority. And then I thought I have made trash cans. No. Also, maybe for gunpowder, we're going to change our drawer system. Yeah, we're just going to go with 2 normal frame drawers. Why not? Gunpowder is the main thing that we want, we might as well have a bigger drawer for it. Upgrades are actually quite expensive. But if I'm not wrong, the mob farm itself should be set. We just need the cursed earth. The problem is that I cannot find the silky jewel, and I'm not even sure if I got the silky jewel. So I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to go grab our enchantment table. Unfortunately, it's daytime. Make a silk touch book, and then make a shovel. Yeah, it's burning. We should put it out. Give me that. We run. Oops. That hurt. We can make the enchanter from Ender.io, right? Yeah, the only thing I was missing was vibrant alloy. You know, before the vacuum freezer. And thankfully I did not convert all of that into plates. I think we can just cut it, right? No? Oh, you can't cut it. Oops. Oh, we need to melt it first. Oh my goodness. Well, I just enchanted the shovel. It worked. Also, this time we are traveling with pearls because it's gonna be way faster. Oops. Hopefully before everything burns. We just need like 1 piece. Yeah, we have more than enough. We're good. You just need 1 piece and it will spread, but just in case I'm gathering a bit more. And there's a skeleton shooting at me. We have 35. That's plenty. You know, with the fans, it's kind of a pain to place them. But this should spread. Yeah, we got mobs. And we're getting experience. But no garbage. Yay! We got gunpowder. Okay, I have to sort the loot, so I'll see you back in a moment. There seems to be a hole here with tons of mobs. But anyways, I'm back and I have been filtering out the loot. There's actually not much loot. Some of them are incredibly rare. For example, I got a diamond. But other than these things that you see in front of you, I haven't seen much else. However, one of the things which is happening is that we're getting tons of armor, and gold is a bit rare. You know, you go mining, you might find some gold. And this is the high voltage age, so we need a ton of gold. So what I have done is that I have a chest up here. And I do have an advanced item filter. I'm still waiting for the rest. So we do get the gold armor and we can put it inside an arc furnace and we get gold instead. It's a bit expensive, but it's for desperate times. And there was also a few potions that I wanted to keep that I'm holding in a filing cabinet. Also, yeah, chainmail does give you steel, which is kind of nice and fast. But I don't think steel is gonna be an issue. Iron capped wooden wand. Well, ooh, we have a focus. But this was nice. That was a quest. I wanted to get that. Yeah, they do actually spawn here a lot because we are also getting mana beans. They're kind of useless. Or maybe they're not useless in this mod pack. We can try to have a mana bean farm. But the focus is cool. Let's give it a test. Yes, it just shots a projectile. It doesn't do much. We don't have to wait for mobs. We can try it on a sheep. Oh, it poisons you. This is the first time I ever got this. But you do need that for a few foci. Interesting. Well, we keep it. Also the wand. Now that we have polytetrafluoroethylene or go to hell, one of the best things that we can make is a large chemical reactor. They are far more efficient than the garbage chemical reactors that we have, so we might as well use them now that we have unlocked the technology. Everything takes time. I'm not really a fan of that. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to show you, I started working on a basement. You know, the entrance at least. we are going to overhaul this place very soon, but after I get titanium. This is why I was also hesitant to add more machines, because I want to get titanium, then I want to overhaul this entire place. But yeah, in order to make the large chemical reactor, what we need to do is that we need to infuse steel casing with go to hell. And by sheer accident, I actually had the correct amount of resources. We can have 1 stack. It's a lot, I know. While that is cooking up, let's check the mob farm. Nothing new. And I did not mess up the filtering. Okay, that's good. So that it does not consider the enchantments, but the armor has to be at full durability. So chemically inert, circuit number 6. Lovely. Then there is this PTFE pipe casing. Okay, that's not horrifying. So let me try to get a few machines. I'll be right back. The chemical reactor is set. Oh my goodness, the tank is almost full. Okay, well, I have set up the chemical reactors, and also since we have been making LV circuits, I made more super tanks. And there you go. We have 2 chemical reactors. Each one of them has like 3 inputs and 3 outputs. Not sure if that was a wise choice or not, but yeah, nothing has exploded, which is great. So since I have used every single ounce of polytetrafluoroethylene that I had, we're going to use it to make that. And also PVC. Well, basically anything that we want. It's just that I already forgot what do we need. We need chlorine, we need methane. And as usual, we actually might need cells. I think we are getting methane. That's garbage. It's okay, I can always make more methane. But this is just for testing purposes. See if everything works fine, and it's not. Oh, it is. Oh my goodness, that's so fast. Holy, wait a minute, you're high voltage. Why are you so fast? Doesn't say why it's too fast, but obviously I'm not gonna complain. The large chemical reactors make everything easier, the problem is my brain. Apparently I don't understand the difference between chloroform and chloromethane. Both of them are useful, don't get me wrong. One of them is for PVC, one of them is for Teflon, and I always mix them up. So at first I wanted to go with Teflon, apparently we have to go with PVC. Anyways, I thought since we are making multi-blocks, we might as well make the Implosion compressor. It's a chemical bath, not an assembler. In the past I remember there was a tooltip that this is the favorite machine of Dream Master. I guess he doesn't like it anymore, because the tooltip is gone. But as usual, that is the controller. It does need 20 casings, which I don't have, but we can make. And I have been making triple plates. That's what we need. We're not gonna go to the moon today, obviously, but the plates are incredibly difficult to make. So I guess the sooner we start working on it, the better. I just got myself 1 stack of powder barrel. It's the equivalent of TNT, but you just craft it with gunpowder. And you know, with planks. It's kind of cheap. And I think you need 4 in order to process 1 item. Nothing happened. It doesn't have fuel. I forgot to put fuel inside the turbine. Oh my goodness, I made the wrong thing. Why? That's the problem with stupid turbines. What a lovely day to run out of magnetic steel rods. Oh, there's more. Yeah, gas turbine. Correct one. Thank you. And here's your fuel. And we go again. This is fun. So I wasted a few resources, but that's compressed aluminium. Making the wooden planks is the hard part, otherwise it's not that expensive. Also getting the gunpowder. I'm actually pretty excited to go to the moon, so one of the things that I have done is that I have made an advanced circuit assembler Mark II. What does it do? Well, it's going to give us the mainframe. If I have everything, I think. I gave it some soldering alloy, and in 80 seconds, we get a mainframe. Oh my goodness. Well, for the NASA workbench, we need 2 of them. There's also a bunch of other stuff that we're going to need. Multi-purpose robot arm. Okay. Ew. What? What? Was it always like this? Another thing is that I need 9. And the most important thing is that, where's the fortress? I just came back to the overworld, we had some fire resistance potions as well as some pearls. Well, the pearls are from the mob farm. Also, this is 1.7, so you cannot spawn wither skeletons in the overworld. Oh, that's rubies. Nice. Let's mark it. Oh, that's a fortress. Nice. I'm not vaguely nervous, I'm actually nervous. Why are they taller than what they should have been? No skulls. Weird creatures. Thank you. Don't know what you are, but you're a wither skeleton? Maybe not. I just realized all of the blazes are bosses. Also the magma cubes. Well, not bosses, infernal. Whoa, hi. Blaze spawn egg. Nice. You don't really find anything of interest inside the chests. And there's a bee. Hi. We're next to a hive. That's not good. Also, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a bit brutal. You need 9 stars. So we kill that one. We kill that one. We shoot at you. Once. and then come closer. No skulls. I just remembered, yeah, there is a way of duping nether stars in this mod pack, using a null catalyst. So I just made myself a cleaver, and if we get 3 skulls, we're good to go. And I don't think we have more fire resistance. That was it. Oh yeah, there's 2 more. Okay, we're good. Also, again, this is 1.7, so health regeneration is a bit garbage. So let us take some hearts. If you eat them, it's gonna heal you. Oh, and I think we get golden apples, right? Yeah. Well, we got only 4. And just to make sure that we're not going to die in vain, are the workstations ready? Thank you. That should be a quest. Somewhere. And not the workstation, the mainframe. Let's see if it works. Not with you. Not with you. Yeah, with you. No skulls, which is perfect. It's going exactly as I planned. No, there's like a 20% chance, and I'm not even sure if most of them are wither skeletons. Well, we know for a fact that one is. Come on. No skulls. What a jerk. Yeah, even in 1.7, I used to hate the nether. Why do you have to be infernal? I had to fix my saturation a bit. We were running out of food, and you're not gonna drop it. We have another boss. No skulls. They just dropped a bone. Please drop something. Let's kill that one too. That's not a wither skeleton. Oh, I got one. Just the one. Okay, so it does work. There is a crazy mob after me. What are you? Let's put the skulls on the hotbar so that we know what we're doing. Hello, boys. This might sound a bit stupid, but can't you put beheading on your arrows? You should be. Literally just got 2. Why are you mad? And 3. Okay, I'm good. I don't care anymore. Oh my goodness. Maybe I do care a bit. I'm just gonna go home. I don't really care. Also, I do have a feeling somebody's following me. Oh yeah, it's a fire bath. Bye. Let's try not to die on our way home. We have our fire resistance, the final one, and see you in hell. Yeah. It's a good thing I drank the potion. I don't really know if I should have prepared for the fight or not, but here goes nothing. Where's my axe? This is a redundant mining tunnel. Oops. Explosion was big. I made him follow me back. It's not going great. Where's my actual sword? Please die. No idea how many hearts I have. But we have regeneration, healing, whatever. Let's go in. Come on. That went horrifying. Okay. We know he's dead. I'm never doing that again. You know, the problem I think is with the realistic terrain generation, because that's too much dirt. Also, the explosion was bigger. My fellow Dark Ones, as I have already mentioned, what we need to do is to make something called a null catalyst, which is perfectly cheap. I don't understand the difference. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So obviously the null catalyst is going to give us the nether star, however, we need 16 Silas Mundus for each nether star. And well, I have to work. It's actually not such a horrible thing. I like the crucible. I literally just stopped recording. There was a creeper. It's fine. I'm alive. See you in a bit. There's another mob. Yeah, I think that one is underwater. We're good. I'm not exactly sure if I have enough balance shards, but that's actually it, right? Yeah, the rest was wood pulp, so that's it. Anyways, I'm not exactly sure if this is gonna be enough or not, but let's give it a test. How long does it take? 45 seconds. Do you have fuel? Yeah. Okay, while I'm working on that, there is one more thing. So, in order to go to the moon, we need a rocket. The rocket does require fuel, and one of the fuels that I had in mind was kerosene. However, for that we need a new multi-block, and it's a bit expensive, and I don't really want to waste those many resources. So I prefer to go with set-on boosted diesel. I know what you're thinking. I don't have diesel. Well, now that we have access to Bunsen, one of the things that we can do is that we can waste oil. And we already have a setup for it. It's just a different circuit. Circuit number 2. So from now on, it's just gonna make us light fuel. And just in case you're wondering, we already have the heavy fuel. Just that I don't really know where my cells are. Apparently until we get to Mars, this is gonna be enough. Then we worry about rocket fuel. It's a very cheaty method, but we will do that. But that should be 4 nether stars. Yeah, the distilleries are not working anymore because we're waiting for the heavy fuel to be finished. And I found my cells. They were up there. Yay! Light fuel. It's getting ready. And yeah, the Silas Mundus is nowhere near enough. It's okay. I will make more. Again, for me, that's really not a big deal. I like working with the crucible, and besides, I get thaumium. It's purple. Actually, I just remembered we are probably wasting fuel. Yeah, this guy is full. The stainless steel fluid cells were a quest reward. They're massive. Anyways, I'm sorry. Bye-bye. Hello. This is where I literally wanted to end the episode. However, I decided to go further. We need a catchy title. Not that it really matters, but I just want to achieve something for today. So the following clip is a bit after I wrapped up the episode. Actually, just before we wrap up, I have been thinking. We didn't really have that much of an achievement, so let's do something. I have already done it. I'm just being dramatic. Let's get our NASA workbench. Why not? Thank you. That took a while, but I'm actually happy with this one. So yeah, that's how I got the NASA workbench, but is that a catchy title? NASA workbench? Nah. What about the rocket? I don't know. I cheated one in. No. Just to clarify, the last time I made that joke, somebody said you should not cheat items in. There was a montage. If you want to make that comment, that's probably because your window was minimized. Don't watch me in minimized. Anyways, we do have everything to go to the moon except one thing. Fuel. We already had a ton of heavy fuel, but I have also made some light fuel. I took like 5 cells out, so we have a decent amount. Oh, that's why you're not working. Okay. It's a 5-to-1 ratio, so that should work. It's gonna be a blood moon. Damn. It's okay, we have 6 large stainless steel fluid cells full of fuel. I have also made this. Ethanol? I don't know what it is. But what we want to do with that is that we want to make something called tetranitromethane, which is basically mixing it with nitric acid. That is going to provide us with 4 buckets of tetrafluoromethane. And if we mix that with the fuel that we have just made, we should get set on boosted diesel. Yeah, exactly. Takes 6 seconds. Where is it? Yeah. 10 buckets. That should be sufficient fuel to take us to the moon a few times. Our set on boosted diesel is ready. I have plenty of oxygen. I'm actually carrying a lot because we want to stay there as much as we can. We are also going to take a compressed chest. I have taken batteries, but we also take the capacitor banks. I just want to make sure that there's not going to be a boo-boo. So that's our fuel loader. I have my oxygen. That's our launch pad. We're also taking an extra set, just in case. And we shall provide you with fuel. You know, I used to watch Ito being stranded on the moon. I don't want to repeat that. But yeah, we seem to be full. So see you on the moon, I guess. There should have been a gauge for fuel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff. Climb faster, you jerk. So that's the moon. Launch. Press space to slow down. I think I slowed down way too fast, but I'm scared. I think it's nighttime. No, there are no mobs. Cool. Shouldn't I get the lander back? Maybe not. Also, we want to be able to get back to the overworld in the same spot, almost, so there's a waypoint. I should have probably made a prospector, but it's too late for that. But we shall dig. Yes. Quest is complete. What is this? Ilmenite. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. That is our titanium. I think. So you guys already know the drill. This is gonna take a bunch of time. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done at the moon. The problem is that I'm running low on oxygen. That's my only tank left. And yeah, I have been mining a lot. The problem is that I was also looking for something called chromite, and that took the longest. But that was literally the final thing that I mined. Where was it? It was near a village. Okay, we're in orbit. We can't watch. And we have landed majestically at our own base in the overworld. Yeah, the last one was chromite. Yeah, I was sure of that. What the... Why are there so many zombies here? Oh, it's a baby zomboni. When I arrived, it was nighttime, so there were tons of mobs. But we're good. What we need in order to progress to the next age is going to be titanium, and there are 2 ways of getting titanium. Well, first off, titanium comes from rutile, and there are 2 ways of getting rutile. One of them is through bauxite, which is the easier way at this very moment for me, because I don't really want that many ingots of titanium in order to progress to the EVH. And the other one is ilmenite, but I have to modify the blast furnaces. There's also a quest explaining us what to do. Okay, 48 rutile. That's gonna take ages. On a very positive note, I'm actually getting hydrogen. Although now that I'm getting extra hydrogen, I don't need it anymore. It does seem that my rutile is ready. 46. Okay, we just got 2 more. So that's 48. And now what do we need to do? We need chlorine, we need carbon, we need rutile. I already had carbon, but okay. Here is chlorine, and we should get some sort of a fluid. Oh, it takes 20 seconds. Why? Oh, you're just gonna give me one. Oops. Well, I guess 48 is gonna take 15 minutes, 16 minutes. I should have made these guys EV. Okay, so there has been a slight boo-boo, but I'm fixing it. So you need to hold 16 hot titanium ingots in your inventory for this quest to count. Which is weird, but what can you do? So the few titanium ingots that I cooled down didn't really count. But we have exactly 16 more, which is perfect. And that should be the rutile quest. And in around a minute, we should have all the titanium that we need. Actually, we have it already. I have also been making some aluminium wires. We're just waiting for the plates. If they arrive one day, that should be the quest for titanium. And if I get one polyethylene sheet, I should be fine. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the EV age. I think. Yes, we have officially unlocked it. So what's the loot bag? Oxygen. I'm not even gonna keep it. The thing is, a lot of you guys have been telling me that I should enchant the loot bags. These were quest rewards, but they're from the medium voltage age. Let's see the difference. Not bad. Not bad. It's not worth it. I don't know, maybe the EV one will be worth it. I'm not sure. But it needs a lot of motors. Motors are expensive. Anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to really wrap up the episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.